New report is illustrating the immense and growing financial toll of climate change, estimating its costs the U.S. at least $150 billion each year. In addition, the U.S. sees one weather event with at least $1 billion in damage every 3 weeks. According to the latest installment of the U.S. National Climate Assessment, Climate Inaction it also disproportionately hurts poor and disadvantaged communities and calls on the federal government to take action today. Joining us now, Drew and Jonathan Scott, also known as the Property Brothers. They've made it their mission to educate the public on how to stay eco-friendly while bringing people's dream homes to life. And Jonathan currently serves as an advisor to former Vice President Al Gore's Climate Reality Organization, while Drew serves on the board of the Environmental Media Association. You guys have this huge empire that you have created together. But the through line, of course, is the connectivity on climate inaction and trying to really move into the future in a more responsible way. Drew, tell us more about that and what your goals are.
Yeah, I think one of the big things for us is our through line is really family. Everything we do is focused on family, and it's trying to show, we're not trying to trigger anybody with words like climate or sustainability, right, even though that is really important. And there's a lot we know nowadays about the health of your home within your home. And so what we focus on is we just want to make sure that every family has the ability to live in a safe, happy, healthy home and an affordable home.
And I think that's the challenge with a lot of these technologies that are coming out now. They're so expensive that they're out of reach for a lot of households. So we're trying to find ways that we can, we manufacture about 10,500 products for the home with our company. And so we're trying to find ways that we can introduce these at a much more affordable rate.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Drew, is a lot of the stuff you hear about, I've got friends who are like, going off the grid, go geothermal, or there's new roofing you can do. You don't have to have the big solar panels out in your yard, roof that doesn't even look like a solar panel. But I think the barrier for a lot of people is cost. When you start to look into it, you go, I want to do that, but I can't afford to do that. Are we making progress that way?
Yeah, so geothermal is a prime example. Nobody can afford that. I mean, the cost has to come down drastically to make it affordable for resident or any use, not just residential. So recently I've invested in a geothermal company that, if things are working out as we're testing, and it looks like it is, we can bring the cost down to a tenth of what it is now, which would make it feasible. Even if you look at a house like mine, I have solar panels and I've maxed out my roof space, and all I can offset is about 48%. Well, with that coupled with something like geothermal, if it does become cost effective, I could actually go 100% for my coverage. So, and there are little things within the house too, moving to induction instead of a gas range and finding other ways to improve the health, the air quality within your home as well. That's really important.
And you see, there are billions of dollars now being invested in the clean home and the electrified home, and also billions of dollars in benefits, that, tax incentives and other programs that are making it easier for people to get into these technologies, which is great. The good news is it is all going that way. Right. That is the future of these technologies because they're just better technologies and they're cleaner. It happens to be that it's also good for your human health as well.
So, Jonathan, in the time you guys have been doing these shows, have you seen like a change in awareness? People are just more cognizant of the effects of climate change, the need to do these things to give themselves a safe home for them and their children?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in reality, you can boil it right down to the home itself and the fact that people are noticing that their utility bills are so much more expensive. When we shot our documentary on this secret war being waged between renewable energy companies and fossil fuel utilities, it was so eye-opening. I spent time everywhere in Appalachia, in D.C., and every corner of the country talking to people, and they all said the same thing. We can't afford to pay our bills. We can't afford to make the decision, do I put food on the table or do I pay my light bill? So that's the kind of thing that no homeowner should have to decide on. And all of these technologies are moving us in a direction where it will allow those bills to come down.
And with what Mika was saying too, every 3 weeks there's a new disaster or something. And there's a lot of scary stuff happening. However, the moment you shift the focus just from that to what is really personally affecting people, their family, in their home, eyes open up and ears open up. You open your ears. And that sort of a thing where people pay more attention and they realize this is something that's really important to them because it's right in your home.
So, guys, what can people do until those costs come down, like you say, get down to 1/10 of the price that it currently is on geothermal? in the short term right now? People want to make their house more efficient. What can they do?
The most important thing they can do is educate themselves on the technologies that are there. For example, heating and cooling your home. Heat pump technology has come so far. We've been using it in commercial spaces and industrial for so long because it's inexpensive. Now you can use it in your home. Technologies like induction. When you're burning a flame in a gas range, people don't realize you're pumping all of that exhaust into your home. Definitely put your vent hood on if you're cooking.
Most people don't. They forget to put the vent hood on.
And so these things, educate yourself. And when you're at a point where you're making that decision to change an appliance, your furnace goes out, your hot water heater, at that point, make sure you're looking at the green technology as the solution.
And Rewiring America has a good website that actually is a calculator, so you know what your rebates, your tax incentives can be. It's basically a free bank account for people. So if you are improving, when you're upgrading your panel, why not go to a smart panel instead of a dumb panel? And a lot of the cost is offset.
And, Will, for so many people, they look back. Barack Obama gets in office. He's talking about clean energy. He's talking about renewables. Say, oh, they wasted money on Solyndra. They wasted money on this. They wasted money on that. The thing is, you talk to business people, you talk to CEOs, and they're all saying that was then, this is now. What may have been a little out of reach in 2009 now makes great economic sense. It just is. The technology has come so far so quickly, and it keeps moving in that direction.
And gets less expensive.
Less
of course,
expensive,
as
better.
you go. Yeah. And the same thing could be said for cars and everything. It's all going in that direction. So how do we make it better and less expensive? You guys just told me you're producing 16 shows. Do I have that number right?
Yes.
Production company, and you're adding 2 of your own to the empire starting soon. Backed by the Bros. And Don't Hate Your House with the Property Brothers.
Yeah, Backed by the Bros. I know we're overachievers, I tell you.
Yes.
Backed by the Bros is actually, the current climate, and it's, there's a housing crisis, and it's actually an opportunity where a lot of people are trying to see how they can get into investing, but doing it without, losing their shirt. And so even, converting a garage in California, they're encouraging everybody to convert the dead space in their home to a revenue source, and it gives housing to people. So that's an opportunity for us with Backed by the Bros to come in and use what we've learned over the last 25 years, use our resources to help people maximize.
That show's basically about people who wanted to be real estate investors, got in over their heads, and now they are screwed. Yeah, and so we're trying to come in and bail them out.
And Don't Hate Your House with the Property Brothers?
And do you hate your house?
Yeah, there's so many people at the end of their rope that just, they're so done with their home, and they know they love the area, they know they want to stay, but they're so done with their home. And when we walk in, we obviously see the potential very fast. And our hope is that we can kind of inspire people at home to make those healthy home changes and fall back in love again.
If you need us to come over,
it would really be great.
We're there.
We're there.
You want them at your house.
Yeah. I know. So many people drive by my house and they get angry. Refrigerators on the front porch, but that's
eventually
it's the best place. You've got to know how to use space. So I'd love you guys to come over, help me out.
But there you go. As long as I can pull something out of the refrigerator on the front porch for a cold drink, then I'm good.
Of course.
I worry about you.
You should. You really should. Thank you so much. Finally, somebody hears my cry for help.
You can see how wise they are. You can catch Drew and Jonathan's new shows, Backed by the Bros and Don't Hate Your House with the Property Brothers, next year on HGTV. Drew, Jonathan, Scott, always so good to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mika?